and managing your time, but we're going to do it from a totally different perspective here. First of all, don't let anybody steal it, and that is exactly what will happen. Especially if you're new in the office, you become the guru as far as the computers are concerned and the new software, the new hardware that comes online. And people hate change. Nobody likes change. And so consistently they'll come to the new person and say, I saw you working on that software. I need this done. Can you help me? New person feels great. I mean, new person being asked by an old-timer to do something, and all of a sudden they feel elated, and they go over and do it, work for them. They come back 30 minutes later, and that person literally stole 30 minutes of their time. And that is money. That's money right out of the pocket. So what you have to do is just say no. Now, that's difficult to do and still be a member of the team. As far as saying, no, I can't help you. I mean, everybody thinks, oh, well, I'm not going to be with him anymore. But there isn't a way to do it. And all you need to do is buy two things. First of all, a recording device, a handheld recording device. You've got it sitting on your desk. By the way, this will also help you in another area. When you're driving around, you're looking for sale by owners. How many of you have tried to find a pen and a pencil trying to write down the address real fast while you're driving by? If you had the recording device in your purse or your pocket, just pull it out, record the address, transcribe it when you get back to the office. The second thing you want to buy is a headset for the recording device. Now, picture this. You're sitting at your desk. You've got the recording device sitting on top of the desk. You've got the earplugs in your ear attached to the recording device. Is somebody going to walk up and knock on your door, but rather tap you on the shoulder? No, because they think you're listening to something. They think you're busy. You actually just said no to them without opening your mouth. Now, if you're really cheap, don't buy the recording device. Just buy the headset. Stick the other end of it in your pocket. They'll still think you have a recording device there. Finding success by managing your time. Now, this is what I meant by a little different slant on time management. If you are totally and completely focused on what you want to accomplish, then there's no problem with your time. So achieving your ambitions, your objectives, your goals all equal success, which in turn equals wealth. Now, let's go through this in a 4 simple step manner to managing your time. First of all, establish your goals. Second, plan the goals. Third, plan a strategy to achieve them using proven methods. Try not to be a maverick, at least at first. Go with what you know works and what other people, top producers in your office have told you will work. Now let's talk about a few things within the establishing the plan, creating your goals, rather. First of all, be realistic about 2 things. First, time, and then self. Now, what I mean by time, if you were to ask somebody, is there a limit to what you can earn in real estate? The average person would say, no, there's no limit. But there actually is, and there are 2 of them, time and self. First of all, time. If somebody wanted to earn $200,000, $300,000 a year in real estate, it would not happen. It will not, could not happen if they could only put in 2 hours a day. So we are restricted by time. And a few of the things that will cause that are the ones that you see on the board now. Health, social and family, and job. As an example, if somebody has health considerations that detract from the amount of time they can spend in real estate, obviously that's going to deter from their income. Also social and family. If you've decided that you want to be with your kids every afternoon, you want to pick them up from school and take them to their games, and there's nothing wrong with that, but it will take away from your real estate time. If you're the treasurer of a local organization and it takes you 10 to 15 hours to do the books per week, again, that'll take away from time. Now, I want to concentrate on job for just a moment. You know, if you ask someone, do you have another job? Well, they're a real estate agent. Do you have another job? And then you say, okay, are you part-time or are you full-time real estate? The vast majority of people will say, I'm part-time. Now, if they continue in that mindset, they are destined to fail. There is no such thing as part-time. There's no such thing as part-time anything. You are either full-time or you are no time. It isn't the amount of time that you spend. It's what you do within that time that matters. And if you stay constantly focused on the job and not just relaxation and socializing and such, then you're full-time. You see, when we think, and right now I'm holding my hands up in front of me, one is lower than the other, if you can visualize that. The higher hand is one job, and I put in that many hours in this job, and then the lower hand shows that I'm putting in this many hours in this job. Well, the lower hand would be considered part-time, the higher hand would be considered full-time. Well, if we think that way, then this higher hand is nothing more than a parachute to back up to. In other words, I would love to make it in real estate. And that's the shorter hand. I'd love to make it. But if I don't, I've always got this other over here to fall back on. I've got this job. And it could be that your spouse makes enough money that you don't have to work. It could be that you have enough money in the bank. But as long as that is there, the higher of the hands, this other doesn't matter. It's no longer important. It's a hobby. I mean, if I make it, it's okay. But if I don't, I've always got this to fall back on. What you have to do is forget about falling back on anything. You have to, and I mean this seriously, you have to consider this almost as though it were a life and death situation. In other words, you are going to make it in real estate or you're going to fail in life. Now let's talk about self for just a moment. What I mean by this is, do you have a self-imposed limit on what you can earn? Now, by example, I want to talk about a lady within our company. Her name is Jean Katchik. Jean Katchik has an average sale price of $1.5 million. That's her average. She will not list, and she sells nothing but homes, by the way, but she will not list a house less than $1 million unless it's a personal friend. She actually listed the largest listing ever taken in the history of our company. She listed 104 homes on 90 acres of land in Weston, Florida. And in turn, she listed these all to be built. She was selling the lots and the homes to be built on them. The average sale price was $1.8 million when they started. When they finished, it was $5.8 million. And in turn, she got an exclusive right of sale for all 104 homes with no expiration date until sold. The largest listing ever taken. And in turn, the last lot sold, she bought. And she built her house with the commissions from that. But the reason I mentioned her is that I've done a series of interviews with top producers. And in the interviews, I always ask the same questions, and they're dedicated to new associates and to help them become successful in real estate. And when I interviewed Jean, she was extremely nervous, and she and I have been friends for almost 20 years. And during that time, we've talked over, just gabbed about a lot of different things. And so I took her into the conference room, and I said, we're not going to do the interview. Let's just go talk. And I wanted to calm her down. And in the course of conversation, she made a statement, and she was looking out through the glass conference room window out onto the bullpen area of the office and looking at all the associates sitting out there. And she said, you see all those, I had asked her a question when she said this. She said, you see all those associates out there? They're so stupid. And I said, Jean, don't say that. That's supposed to help people, not hurt them. And she said, no, you don't understand. Now, let me first explain what caused that outburst and why she said that. I said to her, Jean, I remember when it just occurred to me, I remember when your average sale price was about $300,000. And now this was about, 4 years ago that this occurred. And I said, now all of a sudden it's $1 million. And now up to all the way up to $1.5 million. But I said, how did you do that? And that's when she said, see all those people out there? They're all so stupid. And I said, don't say that. She said, no, you don't understand. I was the same way. I live in a $300,000 house. Do you see what I mean by self? Do you have a self-imposed limit? How would you feel sitting in a $2 million home trying to get a listing? A $4 million home? A $10 million home? Sitting across the table from Donald Trump? So we have to decide, is there a limit to what you can actually earn? And the next thing is to be specific. And what I mean by that is that your goals should be either tangible or, if intangible, they must be measurable. Now, I'm assuming that everyone has a real estate license and has also went through the course to get that license, and you passed the state exam and you have the license in your hand. Now, when you started your course to take the license, you had a specific goal in mind, a very tangible goal, and that was to get your real estate license. And proof positive, you got it. Now, to a person out there, all of you have exactly the same goal, but yet your goal is different. All of you have the goal of success. I want to be successful. But what is success? It's an intangible. I mean, to one person it means one thing, to another it means something else. Most often we'll think in terms of money, and we'll use that as a point of measurement. But don't let the money become the goal. It isn't the money that's important. It's what you're going to do with the money. Why do you want this amount of money? And it doesn't have to be money. It could be that you want to become a broker, or you want to open your own office or become a manager within your company that you work for. It could be any number of things. But you have to have a point of measurement, because if you don't have that point of measurement and you don't have a tangible goal, then in turn, after a period of time, say a year, you'll say to yourself, well, that was a bad year in real estate, or that was my first year in real estate, I'll do better next year, and so on. So you have to have either a tangible goal, or if intangible, it has to be measurable. And number 3, write it down. Goals not written down are simply wishes. That's all they are. You're just hoping that something's going to happen, but you have no idea of how to do it because you have no written plan to do it. And then once you do write it down, post it in different locations where you're going to see it every day. Put one on the mirror in your bathroom. Put one on your desk at the home, desk at the office, in your planner and dashboard of your car. But put it where you're going to see it every single day, forcing you to face reality. And then number 4 is to establish 3 timelines to your goals. The first is short-term, second intermediate, and the third long range. Now, first, short-term are daily and weekly. These are, for a lack of a better term, stepping stones to success. When you go out and you get a listing, the energy you feel, the excitement you feel, gives you the impetus to go get another one. You make a sale, the same thing. And it could be just the simple fact that you are going to prospect. The first time you're ever going to prospect, you've ever prospected, and you say, I'm going to prospect and I'm going to call 50 people. And you do it. And all of a sudden you realize, hey, I can do this. It's no big deal. And so now you're on your way. So daily and weekly are absolutely necessary as far as establishing your goals. Intermediate, in one of the other webinars, we talked about R&R, and that was review and reevaluate your goals. Review where you are now and reevaluate whether or not you're on target for your long-range goal. And this should be done ideally on a monthly basis, but no less than quarterly. I actually know associates that do it on a weekly basis. And then long-range is annual, 2 years, but no more than 5 years. It's virtually impossible to know what you're going to be doing, much less where you're going to live or be in 5 years. So stay within that range.